Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is DRL, and we are back with some NBA 2K Mobile. In today's video, we will be breaking down the top Onyx players inside of NBA 2K Mobile. We're going to do a stats breakdown. I'm going to list the top 5 for every position, the top players overall, which players you should craft, which ones you should not, and the best team that you should be trying to set up with the Onyx players in mind. So enough with that. Let's open up this pack that's on the screen right now. As you can see, today's my 28th day of logging in. So we're going to see exactly what Onyx player we're going to get when we open up this pack. And then afterwards, we're going to get right into the video. So let's jump into it. So let's see who we're getting. I've been getting a lot of screenshots of some really sick players on people's teams. I hope I get somebody good too. All right, let's see who we're getting. Let's go. We got Aaron Gordon. It is always good to get a power forward, I'm telling you. And Aaron Gordon is actually not bad. When I did the stats last night, I was like, yo, Aaron Gordon is pretty good. So now I get to use him on my team. So this is pretty sick. All right, so we're going to hook him up afterwards. I'll do a video with Aaron Gordon gameplay separately. I'll show you what build I'm going to use for him. But this is pretty exciting. I'm hyped. All right, so now let's get into the stat breakdown. Also, too, for those of you that are wondering, I'm going to do a fantasy finals video. I like to unlock the first tier first and then follow up with some gameplay that I get. So we'll do that probably on Saturday or Sunday. All right, so now let's get into the breakdown of the stats. All right, so for those of you who've never checked out my channel, what I do with the stats breakdown videos is I compile an average of all the attributes on every player, right? From shoot off dribble all the way through defending. And I come up with a formula that gives me a stat average. That stat average represents the overall rating for the player. So yes, power rating is important in this game, but in my opinion, power rating is important for the season requirements and for the event requirements. But when you're playing head to head, I think that you should be using the best players overall. And once you beat the seasons and you're pretty much building and mixing teams to get the team loyalty bonus and all the other bonuses that are attributed to the theme cards, then this is something that you should keep in consideration, right? The stat average. So now let's start with the point guards. All right, so now let's break down the Onyx point guards. So at a 3.1 overall, Isaiah Thomas is the lowest of the Onyx point guards. His strongest categories is playmaking, agility, and mid-range shooting, all coming in at a 5. However, his areas of opportunities, and this is also a theme among the point guards, is post scoring and rebounding, both coming in at a 1. But he also has an area of opportunity for strength, layups and dunks, and defending, all coming in at a 2. Next, you got Mike Conley at a 3.2. His strongest categories is playmaking and agility, all at a 5. Area of opportunity is layup and dunks, strength, rebounding, and post scoring. Then you have Kemba Walker coming in at a 3.3. Kemba's strongest areas is playmaking and agility, all coming in at a 5. Area of opportunity is layups and dunks, which is a 2. Post scoring, which is a 2. Strength, which is a 2. And rebounding, which is a 2 as well. You got Derrick Rose, which can be crafted. Has an overall stat average of 3.4. Derrick's strongest category is agility, which is a 5. Area of opportunity is strength, which is a 2. Rebounding, which is a 2. Everything else is either a 3 or 4. So Derrick is somewhat well-rounded, just for the exception of strength and rebounding, but you can boost up those categories easily. Then you have John Wall coming in at a 3.7. John Wall's strongest categories is agility at a 5 and playmaking, but then his area of opportunity is post scoring and rebounding, all coming at a 2. Everything else is either a 3 and a 4. So John Wall is pretty well-rounded as well. Then you got Kyrie Irving coming in at a 3.8. Kyrie has a 5 in playmaking, a 5 in agility, a 5 in three-point shot, a 5 in mid-range shooting, and a 5 in shoot-off dribble. However, Kyrie's area of opportunity is strength, which is a 1, rebounding, which is a 2. Damian Lillard coming in at a 3.8. Damian is a 5 in playmaking, a 5 in agility, a 5 in three-point shot, a 5 in mid-range shooting, and a 5 in shoot-off dribble. His area of opportunities is post scoring, which is a 1, and rebounding, which is a 2. Then you got at 3.9 Steph Curry, who has a 5 in playmaking, a 5 in agility, 5 in mid-range shooting, and a 5 with shoot-off dribble. Steph's areas of opportunity is post scoring and strength, all coming in at a 2. Then you got Ben Simmons coming in at a 4 overall. Ben has a 5 in playmaking, a 5 in agility, a 5 in layups and dunks, with his area of opportunity being 3-point shot, which is a 2. Everything else is basically a 4 or a 5. So Ben is pretty well rounded. He also has a 3 in shoot off dribble, but again, 3-point shot you can easily boost up. So Ben can be really like a solid point guard in this game for you, especially with the height advantage. So coming in at a 4.2 overall is Russell Westbrook. Russ has a 5 in playmaking, a 5 in agility. Everything else is a 4. So Russ is solid. Definitely a beast. I did a video recently with Amethyst Russell Westbrook. The gameplay is incredible for Russ. So those are the point guard Onyx players. Now there's a total of 37 Onyx players. So we're going to try to go through this as quickly as we can, all right? All right, so at a 3.4, we got Devin Booker. Devin's opportunity is in post scoring, which is a 1, and then he has a 2 in strength and rebounding. His highest stats is a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in shoot-off dribble, and a 5 in 3-point shot. Next up is a player that definitely deserves the Onyx treatment. He's killing it in the NBA. Everyone was hyped to see him being added. However, I gotta admit, his stats need to be increased. They need a buff, because Luka's overall stat average is a 3.5. His area of opportunity is post scoring, which is a 2. But honestly, there's a lot of areas that are low as well. He's got a 3 in layups and dunks, a 3 in strength, a 3 in rebounding, while everything else is at 4. So Luka needs to be boosted. Like for example, like playmaking should be a 5. Shoot off dribble could be a 5. Mid-range shot and 3-point shot could be a 5 as well. Like his stat average could be increased. Then coming in at 3.5 as well, you got Donovan Mitchell. Coming in at 3.5 as well is Donovan Mitchell, who has a 5 in agility. Lowest category is post scoring, which is a 1, and rebounding, which is a 2. Everything else is either 3 or 4. Then you got a 3.5 as well, CJ McCollum, who has a 5 in shoot off dribble, a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in 3-point shot, a 5 in agility, but his areas of opportunity is a 1 in post scoring and a 1 in rebounding, while everything else is either 3 or 4. Then you got at a 3.6, and this card can be crafted, is Chris Middleton, who has a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in shoot-off dribble, while the lowest categories is strength and rebounding, all coming at a 2. Everything else is either a 3 or 4. Then you got at a 3.7, Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal has a 5 in shoot-off dribble, a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in 3-point shot, a 5 in agility, with his lowest stats being post scoring and rebounding, all coming at a 2, while everything else is either 3 or 4. The top Onyx shooting guard, should be no surprise, is James Harden, coming in at a 4.4. James has a 5 in playmaking, 5 in agility, 5 in 3-point shot, 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in shoot-off dribble, with the lowest stats being rebounding, which is a 3, and that can be easily fixed. So those are the shooting guards. As you can see, a bit of a surprise, right? All right, so let's get into the small forwards. So coming in at a 3.9 is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has no 5s. However, his lowest category is rebounding, which is a 3. Everything else is a 4. So Jimmy is well-rounded in almost every stat. And rebounding can be boosted up. So Jimmy could be a very solid small forward on your team. Next, you got Paul George coming in at a 4. Paul George has a 5 in 3-point shot and a 5 in defending, while everything else is either a 3 or a 4. The lowest categories are 3 in post scoring and 3 in rebounding. So again, Paul George is pretty good. Jason Tatum, which can be crafted, coming at a 4 overall. Jason Tatum has a 5 in shoot-off dribble, a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in 3-point shot. Area of opportunity is post scoring, strength, rebounding, all coming in at a 3. Coming out of 4.1 is Kevin Durant. Durant has 5 in shoot-off dribble, 5 in mid-range shooting, 5 in 3-point shot, with the lowest categories being a 3 in strength and a 3 in rebounding. I also think KD needs a buff in rebounding. It should be maybe at least a 4, right? Because he is a pretty decent rebounder. Next, you got Kawhi Leonard at a 4.3. Kawhi has a 5 in defending, a 5 in mid-range shooting, and a 5 on shoot-off dribble, while everything else is a 4. So it's hard to say there's a weak category, but if you were to improve something, it could be layups and dunks, it could be rebounding, playmaking, post scoring, 3-point shot. Like, the options are there. And then the best small forward, which we already knew, is LeBron James, coming at a 4.8. LeBron has a 5 in pretty much every category except 3-point shot and rebounding. Those are both coming in at a 4. Those are both stats you can easily increase. So now let's get into the power forwards. At a 3.6, we got Serge Ibaka. Serge's area of opportunity is playmaking, which is a 2. And then he has 3 scattered across and 4s. His strongest category is mid-range shooting, which is a 5. So there is some opportunity, right? Playmaking can be boosted. I don't know if you really want to playmaking Ibaka. You might want to boost rebounding, which is a 3, which I think is kind of low. Post scoring you can boost as well. It makes sense for Serge Ibaka. Or you can boost up his 3-point shot, right? It's already a 4, but you can make it a 5 because he is a good corner 3-point shooter. Then you got Markieff Morris, which can be crafted. Markieff is coming at a 3.6. Area of opportunity is also playmaking at a 2. But you also have a 3 in agility and a 3 in rebounding and defending. So you can boost up those categories. His strongest category is mid-range shooting, which is a 5. Then you have at a 3.6 as well, Marvin Bagley III. Marvin's lowest category is playmaking, which is a 2. But then he can also use help in shoot-off dribble, which is a 3, and defending, which is a 3. Every other category is a 4. Then at a 3.7, you got LaMarcus Aldridge. Aldridge's strongest category is a 5 in post scoring, which is pretty good. But then his lowest opportunity is playmaking, which is a 2. And then he has a 3 in shoot off dribble, agility. So you can boost those categories up. He has a 4 in mid-range shooting and a 4 in 3-point shot and a 4 in defending, along with a 4 in rebounding. So in the stats that matter for his position, he's very good. So you can boost up the other stats to make him more well-rounded, or you can really max out on those solid stats that he has. Then you have, and somebody that I just recently got today, then you have Aaron Gordon, which is on my team. So I'm excited about that, as you can see, right? Because he's ranked in the top power forwards for Onyx. He's at a 3.8. Aaron Gordon has a 5 in layups and dunks. And then everything else is either a 3 and a 4. He has a 3 in post scoring, a 3 in shoot off dribble, a 3 in playmaking. So there's opportunities here, right? Because overall, he's pretty good in shooting. He can defend. So I'm going to get real creative with his build, right? I don't know if I'm going to boost up those low stats. I might just try to make him more of a mid-range type shooter. Maybe similar to Kevin Love. I got some thoughts. So that's definitely going to be a follow-up video. Then at a 3.9, you got Blake Griffin. Blake has a 5 in strength, a 5 in layups and dunks. Area of opportunities are 3s in shoot-off dribble, mid-range shooting, and defending. Blake can be deadly with a mid-range shot. And I'm actually surprised his mid-range shot is a 3 because he has a pretty good jump shot and he has a nice form as well. So that can be something you can really easily fix for Blake Griffin, is by giving him a mid-range shot. Next, you have at a 4.2, Mr. Anthony Davis, who has a 5 in defending, a 5 in post scoring, a 5 in layups and dunks. Everything else is a 4 for the exception of one category, and that's a 3 in playmaking. And then you have at a 4.2 as well, Giannis, who has a 5 in playmaking, a 5 in agility, while everything else is a 4. Giannis is a beast and a bully. I don't know if you guys saw what he did to Vince Carter last night, but it's just not right. It is not right, Giannis. You cannot be doing that to Vince. All right, so here goes the centers. The lowest center right now at a 2.7 is Rudy Gobert. Rudy has a 5 in defending, and that's it. Like, he has a 1 in shoot-off dribble, a 1 in 3-point shot, a 1 in playmaking, a 2 in agility, a 2 in mid-range shooting. But he does have a 4 in rebounding and strength, along with layups and dunks. So there's a lot of room for opportunity with Rudy Gobert. Being that he has strong stats in some of the toughest categories, you could get creative with him, but just bear in mind, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Then you got at a 2.9, and this card can be crafted, is Nerlens Noel. So Noel has a 1 in 3-point shot, a 2 in playmaking, a 2 in mid-range shooting, and a 2 in shoot-off dribble. Strongest categories is layups and dunks, agility, and rebounding, all coming in at a 4 along with defending. Everything else is a 2 or a 3. All right, so Nerlens Noel could be crafted. However, if it was up to me, I would probably skip crafting him. Being that Onyx rings are so difficult to get, you might want to craft other players. All right, you got now at a 3 overall, Steven Adams, who has a 5 in rebounding, a 4 in defending, and a 4 scoring and strength, along with layups and dunks. While you have a 1 in mid-range shooting, a 1 in 3-point shot. Every other category is either a 2 or 3. As you can see, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with Steven Adams. But it is nice to see him in the game. Then you got a 4 overall, Joel Embiid, who has a 5 in post scoring, a 5 in strength, a 5 in rebounding, with lowest category being the 2 in playmaking and a 3 in shoot off dribble. Everything else is a 4. Now at a 4.1, you got Nikola Jokic, who has a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in post scoring. Lowest category is a 3 in defending. Everything else is a 4. So Jokic is well-rounded. And then the top Onyx center, and I'm sure Joel Embiid is not going to be happy about this, is Karl Anthony Towns, who has a 4.2 overall. He has a 5 in rebounding, a 5 in post scoring, a 5 in mid-range shooting. Lowest category is a 3 in playmaking. Everything else is a 4. So Karl Anthony Towns is legit. The top Onyx point guards are, at number 5, Kyrie Irving. At number 4, Damian Lillard. At number 3, Steph Curry. At number 2, Ben Simmons. And at number 1, Russell Westbrook. All right, so here goes the top shooting guards. There's going to be more than 5 because 3 players had the same stat average. These players technically are all tied for number 4. It's Luka Doncic. Then you got Donovan Mitchell. Then you got CJ McCollum. And then at number 3, this card can be crafted. You got Chris Middleton. Number 2, Bradley Beal. And number 1 is James Harden. All right, so now we're going to go into the small forward. You got Paul George at number 5. Then at number 4, this card can be crafted as well, is Jason Tatum. So if you need to craft Onyx players, you should be looking at Chris Middleton and Jason Tatum. Then you got Kevin Durant, then Kawhi Leonard, and then LeBron James. For the power forwards, you got LaMarcus Aldridge, Aaron Gordon, welcome to the team again, Blake Griffin, Anthony Davis, and Giannis. Then for the centers, now bear in mind, there aren't that many centers, but the 5th is Nerlens Noel, which can be crafted. Then you got Steven Adams. Then you got Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and then the top is Karl Anthony Towns. Now, as far as the cards that can be crafted, the 5th one is Nerlens Noel. 4th is Derrick Rose. 3rd is Markieff Morris. 2nd is Chris Middleton. And then the best player to craft is Jason Tatum. Now, the best team that you want to have at point guard is Russell Westbrook. At shooting guard, James Harden. At small forward, LeBron James. At power forward, Giannis. And at center, Karl Anthony Towns. Now, power forward, you could also have Anthony Davis, because he is technically tied for first place with Giannis. So that's it. Those are the Onyx players. This is a long video, but I think it just made more sense to put all the rarities into one, instead of making you guys wait for me to upload each video about the Onyx players. So there's 37 Onyx players overall. I know a lot of people are getting the Onyx players from the login packs. So that's why I wanted to drop this video as soon as possible. That way you can really see, how these players rank compared to the others, all right? So again, appreciate all the support you've been showing on the channel. We got a fantasy final video still coming. We got some 2K20 console version coming. So we got a lot of stuff lined up for this weekend, all right? So I appreciate all the support. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be safe out there on Black Friday. And again, appreciate everything. Peace out.